Hello YouTube, this is Waya from Twin Cousins Reptiles, and today I'm here with a gecko that if you are a constant viewer of our channel that you probably will not recognize because this is an animal I've not shown you guys yet. This is my newest animal, my most recent animal, even newer than the gecko I just had hatch out. This guy is brand new, just got him pretty recently from the reptile show. And this leopard gecko is different from pretty much every other leopard gecko here that I have, at least all my other albinos. As you guys know, most of the albinos I work with, like my male right here, are Tremper albino. Now this male here that I have is a Bell albino. So this episode of Morph Monday, I'm going to be focusing in on the Bell albino Morph. Now this guy actually is not a pure Bell albino. This one is actually a Bell Snow, so this is a little bit lighter than an actual pure Bell albino, but I will explain a bit more about the snow gene later on in the video. So let's start off with what is a Bell albino. Bell albino is a true albinism strand that was created by Mark Bell, and it was created in Florida. So because of this, just like how the Tremper albino here is sometimes called the Texas albino, the Bell albino is sometimes called the Florida albino. And the same thing for the Rainwater albino, created by Tim Rainwater. It is sometimes called the Las Vegas albino. Although it really should be called the Nevada albino, in my opinion, it's called the Las Vegas albino. But let's focus more on the Bell albino. The Bell albino are normally a bit darker. Tremper albinos tend to be more of a yellowish, have more yellow and pink. Rainwaters are a little lighter. And Bells are, I think Bells are the ones that are the easiest to tell apart of the three. Although you can never technically just look at an albino leopard gecko and tell which strand of albino is. Based on some of the features and some of the pattern, you can kind of take an estimated guess. But because of dark albinos and light albinos, it is hard to tell. One of the cool things on Bell albinos is they normally have really pink eyes. This one has pretty pink eyes. The camera really doesn't seem to pick it up all that well. But another thing that they do normally have are more of brown spots that they do have spots. This one doesn't have as more of like a spotted pattern because it does have, it's not just pure Bell albino, but they have more of like a brown pattern to them, which normally makes them look like a lot darker of an animal. So let's go to some of the breakdowns of Bell albinos. Some of the recessive breakdowns. As you guys know, all albinos, in leopard geckos at least, are recessive. The Tremper albino is recessive, just like the Bell albino. And also, if you do ever cross a Bell to a Tremper, you're just going to end up with a animal that is it's basically you're just gonna get a normal animal that is either het for Bell or Tremper, and you'd have to test breed it to prove it. But to avoid that, people is probably not the best idea to cross anything that has Bell in it to anything that has Tremper in it. So because of this, people and most leopard gecko breeders really keep the lines apart. A lot of the stuff that is produced by Tremper, just like raptors and apters, the same exact thing is produced with Bell albinos, just using the Bell as a replacement for Tremper. One example of this is the radar. So basically that's the raptor version of Bell albino. Another one would be this guy. There are Tremper snows, just like there are Bell snows. And I'd assume that there are definitely Rainwater snows as well. So let's go to some genetic breakdowns real quick. So back to the Punnett square chart. So here, if you did not see the last episode, I do use the capital letter of the morph, even though it's recessive, it's supposed to just be 2 N's, but I am using the B because I am talking about the Bell Albino in specific. Instead of just putting N for normal, I'm using the B instead. So 2 capital B's would be a normal. 2 lowercase b's would be a Bell Albino. And a capital B and a lowercase b would be a normal looking leopard gecko that still has that gene for Bell Albino. And that is called heterozygous. And we normally just call it het for short. So a Bell Albino crossed to a Bell Albino. So this parent is a Bell Albino. This parent here is a Bell Albino. So 1 of 4 offspring. This is all chance. This is not all probability. This isn't guaranteed. But 100% of these would be Bell Albino. Because there's only a Bell Albino recessive gene in there to be picked up by the offspring. So if you crossed a Bell Albino to a normal, then you would definitely get all normals het for Bell Albino, meaning they are a normal animal. But yeah, they are a normal animal, normal looking animal that still carries that Bell Albino gene. And I will show you right here how that Bell Albino gene makes a difference. So this is a Bell Albino here, Bell Albino parent, crossed to an animal that's normal but het for Bell Albino. So this animal, if you cross these animals, 1 of the 4 possible offspring, probability-wise, 50% of them would be Bell Albino, and 50% would be normal het Bell Albino. So these bees basically just go that way and that way. So they just go across the board. So what would you get if you crossed a het Bell Albino? So regular, normal-looking leopard gecko that has that Bell Albino gene still, to the same thing, normal het for Bell Albino. You would most likely get 25% chance of a Bell Albino. Now, all 3 of these leopard geckos right there, all 3 of those ones would look just like normal leopard geckos, except the only difference is 1 of those 3 will not carry that Bell Albino gene. So I'd just be a normal, and the other 2 would be normal het Bell Albino. So, finally, we are here with all normal. Normal cross to a normal, always going to come out as a normal, unless it does have a hidden het in it. So that is about it for this episode of Morph Monday. I do want to give 2 shout-outs real quick. I do want to give a shout-out to Reptiles by Rakowski. I'll put a link to his website down in the description. He is one of the breeders I did contact to try to find out a little bit more about the history of this morph in the year it was produced, even though I did not end up finding a true answer to that. Reptiles by Rakowski, really cool geckos over on his page. Go check that out. And also, I did want to give a quick shout out to GB Reptiles. I did say I was going to try to do a bit more explaining the genetics of leopard geckos in like a crash course, not like the Morph Monday, going into detail with each morph, just a bit about the way the genetics work in that. I did try to do that video, but that video did not end up coming out right. So I will eventually probably try to do that video. But GB Reptiles, they have a really cool channel. They're starting up pretty recently. Go check out his channel. He is a sail-fin dragon, really cool, as well as bearded dragons, leopard geckos, and he actually has a chocolate albino leopard gecko, which is a cool strand of Tremper produced by Ron Tremper. So go check out his stuff. He is really neat stuff, and I will have a video coming out for you pretty soon. So like and subscribe. Go check out the people I mentioned. And also go check out Repti Collab if you haven't checked out Repti Collab yet. That's basically a collab channel. Watch the welcome video, first video there. So like and subscribe, and I will be coming to you guys next Monday with not the rainwater albino, because I do not have any rainwaters either, but another morph, most likely a recessive. I'm thinking of doing the blizzard, since that is another recessive I have, but I'll see. So thanks for watching, and bye.